Hello. I just wanted to say something. I'm in this moment of absolute reverence and beauty and holiness, divine worship of God right now. The most beautiful thing I've ever witnessed in my life. Twin flame union. Hello. Hi, sweetheart. Guys, I want to tell you this. It's so beautiful. I want to share a story with you. And this happened just a couple nights ago. And it's so beautiful. I can't get it out of my head. I've been crying about it. I can't even believe that a love this beautiful can exist in a world this dark. Few nights ago, I was going on a walk, and my twin flame and I, though we've been in contact, we've known each other about 6 weeks now, maybe. We were in contact enough, but it was very sparse. Not really anything worth mentioning. It was just kind of like, barely texting. Once in a while, he'd come over and we'd hook up, and that's it. It was just it was nothing really. Well, this one night, I went outside for a walk, and I called him while I was on the walk, and he was so short with me. He was so dismissive, cold. He was even just aloof, didn't want to talk. And I hung up on him. I ended up hanging up on him. And I texted him and I said, I'd rather talk to a brick wall than have a conversation with you right now. And all he did was send a smiley face. That's it. And it pissed me off so bad, right? The reason I'm mentioning this story is because I want you guys to know that circumstances never matter. When you're manifesting your specific person, no thing, or even the system itself, the 3D, the matrix itself can tell you no. Okay? Hi, Ava. No one can tell you no. Not even your person. Okay? So I was on my walk. I hung up on him because I was so tired of him not giving to me emotionally. So as I was on this walk, I live in an Airbnb, so it was a new neighborhood, and I've never been on that trail before, on that path, and it was so cute. And I just remember feeling like the houses were so cute, the neighborhood, the white picket fences, everything was just so picturesque. It was so cute, out of a fairy tale. And it was at night, so there were all these lights on, and these little, I just remember falling in love with the neighborhood, right? So even though my twin flame was not in the physical world with me that night, I still had an amazing time by myself, right? Well, the very next day, as fate would have it, he ended up wanting to show up at my house at the Airbnb. So he ended up grabbing an Uber, and he came over and we hung out. And while we were here hanging out together, he was only here for one night. And while we were hanging out, we went on that walk on the same trail. And it was the most beautiful experience I've ever had. And it's like tonight, Spirit was just showing me how in 24 hours, he was nowhere to be found, aloof, cold, detached. And then the very next night, walking hand in hand with me, holding hands with me, literally on in the same neighborhood, talking about plans and houses and everything, life purpose, and just, it was in one night, in one 24-hour time frame. And while we were walking, I've never had a man care so much about what I want. And while we were holding hands, it was nighttime again. So beautiful. So beautiful with the stars. And it was just, oh God, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And he was holding my hand and he said, which one of these houses do you like? Which one's your favorite? And I looked around and I found a couple like Cape Cod style houses that like I really love. And I was like, oh my God, that one right there. And he stopped, he looked at it, he said, damn, that's beautiful. That one, yeah. And then we walked a few more blocks and then we found this like clearing. And he's like, this would be a perfect neighborhood park. We should build a park here. And it just started to become this imaginary fairy tale, but hand in hand in the flesh. Only after having 24 hours before been rejected on the same neighborhood walk. Okay? I had just been told in that reality that I could not have him. He was busy, aloof, he didn't care, he was stubborn. And in 24 hours, there he was hand in hand walking that same path with me. Right? So the point is there's always movement, and there does not have to be evidence in the 3D physical world that it is about to happen. Okay? In the blink of an eye, the twinkling of an eye, right? It's going to happen and you're not going to expect it. No man knows the hour, right? We don't know when it's going to just happen, but it is. And I just want to show you guys that circumstances do not matter. And just because you're being told no by your reality in some way doesn't mean that you have to take that at face value. So what I did in this instance was I hung up on him when I wasn't getting what I wanted. I told him I'd rather talk to a fucking brick wall than talk to you. And I basically shunned him. I turned off my energy. I pulled it back to myself. I enjoyed my walk. One thing I did also on my walk, though, on the way back, is I started telling him telepathically how he's in love with me and it shows, and he's going to start proving it. And again, the very next evening, he confessed his undying love for me. He started saying that, like, we've known each other in past lives, and just basically that it's like a serious thing. Okay, anyway, now what I'm noticing is time is not linear. So time is very much an illusion. It's real in that it's perceived, but it's only perceived in the 3D physical world. It's only a 3D construct. Okay? Time. When you are transcending time, when your thoughts are transcending time. Thoughts are not in time. Okay? Your thoughts are what align you to the reality of having your wish fulfilled. Okay? Game over. 100% game over. That's it right there. He was trying to smash. Right. And he did. Very well, may I add. Anyway, the point is, we are here to understand that time is but an illusion, and you are already transcending that. Your manifestation is not on a time crunch. It is, you can have it right now in this instant, because the second you visualize it, it's there. That's reality. You are supposed to be relieved in that feeling of having that thing. If it's your lover, be relieved in the imaginal act. Be relieved right then in the imagination. If it's money, be relieved in your imagination when you look at your bank account and you see the relief there. Or pay your bill in your imagination, right? Most people don't persist in that new version, in that imaginal act. They don't stay consistently going into that, right? we take the 3D at its face value and we run with it. If I would have done that, I never would have manifested him the next night. If I would have got all butthurt at the fact that he was rejecting me and telling me, like, I don't really care, I'm not into this tonight, I don't really care, like, have a good night, you know what I mean? So dismissive. If I would have listened to that, I never would have had the most beautiful night of my entire life, right? So going forward, just know that it doesn't matter the timing. It could happen right now in the blink of an eye. Okay? It really could. Right now is the instant. Right now is the only moment that matters. The past is not real and the future is not real. You cannot go to the past and you cannot go to the future. There is no time like that. The only moment you have is this present moment. And what is it that you are thinking and what is it that you are aligning with in this present moment? Do you know that you already have your thing? Do you live like you already have that success? How would you carry yourself differently if you already had that thing, right? I was already going on a walk myself and enjoying the scenery, and it was just so much more beautiful. Like, it was already gorgeous on my own. But the way that the universe conspired at my favor to make it even better by having him next to me the very next night, holding my hand, it was so... I've never seen anything like it. It was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. So, you guys are entitled to having your present moment be all about you. All about what you want, right? If you're ever uncomfortable and you don't even like where your connection is going with your soulmate, end the conversation, go back into your own, pull your energy back, go back into yourself and say, you know what? Nope, that's not my reality. He's having a bad day. That's his thing. This man is so in love with me. All he wants is me. He's going to call back and apologize, or just go into the state of already having that thing, right? Go back into your imagination and see the connection differently. And if you do this repeatedly over and over, I mean, you guys live in that, live in revision, right? Let revising a situation, let that be your primary focus in a day. You should be doing instant revision every single day. Like with my clients, revision works so well because it's like a universal technique. It's like revision is the act of, well, correcting something that actually happened in your reality, whether that's disease, a car accident, money problems, a breakup. It could be anything, a job loss. It's basically going to that moment, right? Reenacting in your imagination that moment, right up to the point where you do not want it, the point that you hate whatever it is that's happening, and then you change it. You give a brand new script, a brand new reality, okay? And not only does this take away the pain instantly for most, it jumps you into a new timeline. It literally quantum shifts you into a new version of reality where the new story actually happened. Okay? So for me, after I hung up with him and I said, nope, not doing this tonight. I don't like your attitude. Fuck off. Once I did that, I didn't text him anymore, didn't call him again. I went into my imagination and I specifically telepathy, and I started telepathically telling him, you are in love with me. Ooh, you fell in love with me. You fucked around. You found out. And I started saying this to him. He couldn't get a word in edgewise. All I was doing was flooding him with messages from me about how I knew he was madly in love with me and wants to show it and is so excited to be with me, and all these really, well, truthful messages that I actually believed. And the very next day, he came over. And we had like the most beautiful time ever. And it was so healing. It was so therapeutic. It was so godly. Like it was a God thing. And it changed our entire dynamic. So again, you do not have to believe the version that you don't like. You don't have to believe it, even if it's from the horse's mouth. Honey, this man has at one time told me that I live in a fantasy land. He said, I live in a fantasy if I think that he and I will ever be together, because he runs with a bad crowd, or at least he used to, and he was convinced that they would hurt me. So he said, we don't ever get to be together, Jenna. This is like Romeo and Juliet. We never get to be together. I think you're in a fantasy world. That very night, 3 hours later, he called me telling me he wanted to get married to me. So listen, time is not relevant. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you just got an unexpected bill in the mail and you have rent due in 3 days. Time is an illusion. Okay? You are as abundant as you think you are. And if in this present moment right now, you claim that you are rich, you are rich. The universe will conspire and move 1 billion people to get you your results. Okay? Now, the how is not your problem. The way that it shifts to get you to your desire is not your problem. Okay? But I will tell you, the universe will use the path of least resistance. The universe will do something as quick as it can without needing a lot of extra effort. Okay? So you do not have to worry about the how. Your manifestation is coming in. It doesn't matter how. Okay? Let the universe do what it needs to do. You just simply keep continuing on in that energy of, oh, no, I already have it. See, that's what I did. When telling him telepathically, oh, you're in love with me, that's it. I said it with conviction. I knew it was true. I'm all he thinks about. I'm the love of his life. I'm literally the one that he wants to marry. So there can't be opposition to your wish fulfilled, your wish fulfilled in this present moment. You have to be aligned in this present moment with, I already have it. That's mine. He's mine. The money's mine. The job's mine. I already worked there. My bank account already says this figure. I already have a ring on my finger. We're already married. We have kids. We have this. You have to use these present moments wisely, because that is everlasting life. Okay? To have it more abundantly means to be in the present moment. Heaven is the present moment. The only moment you have. Your kingdom come is the present moment. And so you need to use the present moment wisely. And a lot of people are bringing a past event into the present moment and then wondering why their future looks like the past. It's because you're building the future on a present moment that is defined by the past. But the past does not exist. It's simply a memory. You're bringing a memory into the present moment. That's it. So change the memory. Your subconscious cannot tell the difference between a memory and a real thing happening right now, a brand new event. And it also cannot tell the difference between your imagination and real reality. Okay, it can't tell the difference. Use these present moments wisely. Okay, I just wanted to tell you this story. It was so beautiful that in only 24 hours, in the same neighborhood, the same walk, it was just so beautiful how in one timeline I was without him, and the very next night in a different timeline I was with him, hand in hand, looking at the stars and finding our dream home together. So it's a beautiful story. I just wanted to share that with you guys, and just know that you're getting your desire. You're always getting your desire. It's closed for a reason, Amir. Let her be. Thanks, Opal. How you doing? I hope you guys are doing really well. Anyway, I'm doing fantastic. I'm getting exactly what I want. Currently, my twin flame is going through a massive awakening. It is very harsh for him. If you could say some prayers, that would be great. But it's quite harsh in that he's discovering right now that twin flame union is inevitable. It is here. It's like going your whole life thinking that no one loves you and no one understands you. And then just like suddenly overnight finding out that everything you've known about love is a lie, right? And so he's going through this massive awakening, and it looks really, really harsh. And it might be universal. It's probably a collective thing. But if you feel a heaviness in the air, I think there's an eclipse coming up too that might have a lot to do with it. But I just wanted you guys to know that just because one timeline, one reality, one state of mind, state of consciousness says that you don't have that thing, doesn't mean that there's not an entirely different reality or frequency where you already have it. All I had to do was shift into that new reality, and it only took 24 hours. And then boom, I was in a new reality, walking hand in hand with him in the neighborhood. So do not worry about failing. You can't fail. Time isn't even relevant anymore. Like time is just, there's not even time. So you're bending time now. You're bending the whole matrix to your will. So there's no time. You have a million present moments right now that you can keep claiming the thing that you want. So just start again. If you find your mind is slipping, go back into the present moment and be like, nope, I already have it. Nope, I already have it. I remember when I didn't, but now I do. You know? Anyway, I don't want to really keep you guys. I just wanted to tell you this beautiful story. Okay? I love love. That's my favorite thing to do, is teach about manifestation, especially love. And I just really wanted to share this with you guys anyway. Thank you for being here. I hope you guys do really well. And in getting your manifestation, I hope you're happy. And I hope you remember that you are God. Okay? You are God, and there is no other outside of you. You are God of your reality. That's it. No one can make the rules for you. You're the operant power. Okay? So decide and select today using just your present moment. Okay? I love you. Bye-bye.